Don't know if I'm live yet. It would seem so. Oh, where's my papers gone? You'll have to wait a minute. Right. Evening. If it's actually on. Just making sure it's live. Yeah, there we go. Oh, how close we are then. So, another week. Just looking at the mirror. Nothing's been on this week, as in no racing. There has. MotoGP's been on. I'll talk about that in a bit. But other than that, it's just been prepping. I had a little tinker with my bike, sorted out tyres. That's what I've been doing this week, and got my tyres all ready for Donnington. Last round's next week. I don't know whether I'll do a live. Jamie Harris is wanting to do a live from the racetrack, so hopefully that comes off, and I'm not sure who he's getting. He did mention some names. He's asked me, and I don't know if he's asked Tommy Fielding. I do actually. I'm subscribed to Tommy Fielding. I've never spoke to him at track or anything because I don't want to disturb him. He's always with his family, so I don't really want to disturb him at track. And I do watch his videos. I definitely watch Lee's. You know I watch Lee's. Lee's been on holiday, so LJ Motorsport, he hasn't put any vids up. He's been sunning it up. He's back though. Now, I have only just started putting my videos up from Oulton. We did Oulton a couple of weeks back, but I weren't behind, but it was just getting the videos up without getting YouTube algorithms to say I was spamming. Duran, you're always there. Duran, I keep saying your name wrong. I will get it right one day. Just watch Tommy Fielding's. I've just been. It's funny enough. I've just switched up. While we're watching Chris Slicks, I've just been watching Chris Slicks, and I will probably watch Tommy Fielding's later. Right. Well, right. So I were going to mention this actually. Why do they call you Rambo? George. So why do they call me Rambo? Well, I used to compete as a bodybuilder before, and me and girlfriend, we went to Turkey on holiday, and you know what Turkish are like. You walk around anyway, and funny enough, I never ever walked, even as a bodybuilder, I never walked around with my top off or anything like that. Never ever would I do anything like that. Every bodybuilder's got a body dysmorphia, believe it or not. People who think they're big and think they're like really ripped, they walk around with their tops off thinking they're Johnny Big Balls, but compared to a bodybuilder, they're not. Most bodybuilders cover up, to be honest. In Turkey, as you walk around, people are like, just because you're a big lad, you know, and quite ripped and muscular, and they're like, they just call you Rambo. I ain't got a clue why, but I'm not American. I certainly ain't got Sylvester Stallone's hair. So why on earth am I Rambo? And I'm not like 4 foot tall. If they'd have called me Arnie, I wouldn't have bothered doing, but it was just the Rambo. Of course, I let Roger know. I mentioned it to Roger Lovelace, and he told everyone, I have got a mag. I can't remember it. One of the rollers. I just can't remember who it were. But that's why they call me Rambo. and it's just to take piss, to be honest. So that's the Rambo explanation. I wondered how long it'd take for someone to actually ask, why do they call you Rambo? You do make the SR look like a pit bike. Oh, cheers. God. I probably weigh a little bit less now than when I first. So last year, I quit bodybuilding last year. I turned 50. Oh, God, last year, 55 I turned last year. And I did the very last show on my birthday. And I retired on that actual day. And it were all planned. For me to retire on my birthday. 55-year-old doing. Will I ever do it again? I don't know. Doing it's one of them. I don't know. I might do. I might not. It's one of them. But when I first retired, I had to buy straight away. I was like, right, I'm going back racing, or should I say, I'm going racing. I'm going back racing. We're doing track days. Right, I'm going racing, and I had to buy a bigger set of leathers. I used to fit in 44s, UK size, and nowhere near. And I bought a 46. Yeah, I bought 46. Couldn't get in them. I ended up getting a 54, and it would just, believe it or not, it was legs, the arms, and across the shoulders, just tight as anything. Even a 54, but this stomach and the arse were massive. It was like there was so much extra. Obviously, I don't train like I used to. I don't train at all now. But it took a while to lose size. I'd say it took 3 months to lose proper size and just be a normal. I actually weigh probably less now, even though I'm a lot fatter. I am a lot fatter than when I was bodybuilding, and I probably weigh a little bit less. I think in my peak I was weighing, most I've weighed 17 stone 3. But competing wise, I'd maintain around 16 stone. On stage, I'd probably be about 15 and a half stone on stage. So it's one of them. But I could do with losing some weight for racing, to be honest. Can you slow down so Lenny Brookman can keep? No. Lenny's my favourite, honestly. Which we're doing endurance. It's out. Everyone knows we're doing endurance at Donnington. I've got a little list of stuff I'm going to talk about. I love Lenny. Me and Lenny, see, we've got exact same bike. His has got a little bit more. I'm not even giving him an excuse. He should be faster. We both put our bikes on dyno at Donington, I think it was. I can't remember. Whenever I had issues, and mine was only doing 100 and I think mine were doing 187 brake horse, which was a bit of a letdown, and his was doing 190 something. So he's got more power. He has got fast. What I will say is, people have whinged about people that are at back. I'm not being funny. We're newcomers. Do you know what I mean? And Lenny's still a newcomer. We've looked at times from last year, because we got 3 races in last year, and every single race we've got faster and faster and faster. What's the problem? Just because some people have sandbagged and kept in certain classes, do you know what I mean? You can't bitch the lads that are at the back, the newcomers. Do you know what I mean? Where else do you expect? They're never going to get better. What do you expect them to do? Be in there for like 2-3 years and say they're still a newcomer or a cup thou lad, and then you're lapping them and you're whinging. It's just not on. Don't go whinging about people being slow. Go round them. But what I will say is, and this is where, love you too, Charlotte. This is where something happened at Oulton Park. You won't have seen it yet. And that goes up, actually, that goes up tomorrow at 5. Race 1, Lenny got taken out. And it were people that were overtaking him. So it were Cup Thou lads. And someone's come round him. And I'm not going to name person, do you know what I mean? And he's come round him and he's actually hit him over his front wheel. He's just turned over in front of him, hit his front wheel, and Lenny come off at Cascades, I think it's called. I don't really know names of corners apart from Cadwell. I know that one, every corner on that. But I think it's Cascades. And he took his front wheel off him. And Lenny's bike's in bits. Do you know what I mean? Proper crashed him. Lenny's all right. It's you know, Lenny's Lenny. But if he's slower, you can overtake people without having to crash into them. But this lad hadn't even bothered to come up and say sorry or asked if he's all right or anything like that. Doing nothing at all. So that's a bit of a shitter. Whereas when Lenny's got taken out before, the person who did that one came up, found Lenny straight away, apologised, and you know, one of them. But Lenny did get taken out. I've got a spare set of fairings for him. He's not going to be in black. He's going to be in white for final because I've got a spare set of white fairings. I think I spoke to him yesterday. I speak to him quite often, and we're just trying. I've got loads of parts for our bikes in case, and so it's just getting him sorted. But I'm not going to slow down. Lenny will have to speed up. I followed Lenny, and I said to him the other day, and I've said it to him before, he needs to stop braking too early. He's braking way too early. He goes round corner okay, and he pulls out at corner okay, but he's just braking way too early. That's Lenny's problem. And I have actually said that to him. Carnage, 1960 Beast. I used to be. I'm not now. It is one of them. Now, going back to Oulton, that one will be out on Sunday, race 2. So that was race 1. So it got red flagged. Bit of a crap one for me, to be honest. I'm not going to say I got stuck, but I just couldn't get past, and it was Lee and Peter. Peter nearly went in wall. I will say that. God, he was so close to the wall. You can see him. And it was about second lap in or something like that. It just went so wide. On start finish, he nearly hit the wall. And then it was me and Lee. And Lee's so fast coming out at corners. I'd catch him on brakes and so forth. And it just took it. But by the time I got past him, I just couldn't catch the next. I could see him. I could see the group. I just couldn't get anywhere near. And then obviously, I thought I was getting a little bit closer to group in front, but they were a bit of a distance off, and he got red flagged. When it comes R&N Smith, hello. What happened regarding serious injury? Right. So in race 2, this is out on Sunday, and I didn't get in touch with the lad. Right. So all season, not Snetterton. I didn't see him at Snetterton, even though we're in race. I've been racing against Andy. Massive shout out to Andy Stewart. He's been my main competitor all year. Not at Snetterton. Ryan was at Snetterton. Ryan was at Brands as well. But Andy showed his nose, or should I say, showed his wheel at Brands. And it's been me and Andy. Oh, Luke Coop, but he's at Cup Thou. But Andy Stewart is... Me and him's been racing all year against each other. And I'm not being funny, he was flying. I think it's his local. He was flying. Like the track I've done most for Cadwell, I did the same. But Andy were flying. He come third in Armed Forces race. And he was so much faster than me. He was way up there on grid. And unfortunately, Craig's just called me Rambo, brilliant. But in the second race, and it was that mixed conditions as well. It was wet, but it weren't wet. It was that in between. We did have wets on, and it were drying. That's not the reason why. But going into Cascades, an accident's happened, and Andy were involved in it. I'm not saying who's to blame or anything like that. I probably said some on the video that goes up Sunday, but it's just about who else was involved, and I'm not going to say it on here. But and it obviously racing got cancelled for rest at day. Let's put it that way. They were waiting for an helicopter. He went by ambulance in end, and we all got a letter through, an email from No Limits saying about it. And I didn't jump straight on and contact Andy. I waited till this week. I've given him a few weeks just so that he can get out. And is absolutely not fine, but he is. He's absolutely fine. He's now out of hospital. He's going to come to Donnington, not to race. He can't. That's his season over. But I'm gutted because he were my main competitor, and he's kept me on my toes all year. So, and he is coming back. A few messages got sent, and he's coming up with me next year. We are in Cup 1000 next year, so Andy's coming back. So I'll still be racing against him next year, which is brilliant. Just get better soon, Andy. You know you're my competition, so not a problem that at all. Aaron and Smith, Oulton Park, how do you feel about the ship communication from Race Irish? Oh my God, right. So, Oulton Park, once this accident happened, so that was the first crash. So there were two crashes in it. And like I said, they're on camera. On that'll be out on Sunday. But there were Andy's crash, and then obviously we had to wait round at the end for a bit, and then they sent us back to pits. Then we went back out onto grid and started again. Then Craig crashed. Craig Everson, 77. Craig crashed then, and he crashed. I don't know the name of the corner. It's the very last right-hander before you come down and come back onto the start finish on left. Oh, my notes had flown off, and Craig crashed there. I did see Craig at the track. Craig, he were hobbling around a bit. But they stopped the race, and they said they were waiting for air ambulance. No communication at all, and we must have been waiting then. Well, I knew 6:30 was cut-off time, and they didn't tell us till 6:20 that they weren't going to carry on racing. And I'm not being funny, I think it was like we got a lap in or something like that, 1 or 2 laps, and you can't class that as a race. Well, they didn't communicate with us, they didn't tell us, it was just word of mouth that were coming through pits, and then eventually they decided to call it. But 5 races didn't get there were 5 races in end that didn't get to race, and they've sent an email out. They haven't got time to do it at Donnington, so they can't fit all them races at Donnington. That's what they know. If 1 or 2 races get cancelled for one reason or another, they normally run it at the next round and try and fit it in. There's too many. They put that out there. I think, I don't know if I've said it on one of these or if I said it on my drive back, which is at the end of race 2. So at the end of race 2 on Sunday, I talk about the race after the video, and I think I mentioned there about it's not the best Oulton, just because it's a test day, which is on the Friday, qualifying on the Friday, and then Saturday it's race 1, endurance, race 2. Hence, anything happens, that day is done. And it's because we're not allowed to race on a Sunday. I think And my idea, I'm nobody. I'm an absolute nobody when it comes to this. But in theory, they've got a track day on Thursday. Why don't we make Thursday a test day, a proper test day? Friday, we do qualifying, race 1 and endurance, like normal. And then on the Saturday, we just do race 2 and race 3. And race 4 if you're in Cook, so they get 4 races. I think everyone would do that instead of such a rush at Oulton Park. I can't say I've had a decent run at Oulton Park, and it's literally because there's no time. You get 3 little tests, and then it's like qualifying, right? And that's it. Doing race, and yeah, like that. I've done how much it costs to go racing, and the cost it got to go racing at Oulton Park, you'll have to wait for that one to come out. Compared to how much track time we had, not really good. And then, obviously, it was necessary, but more of the shit comes. It were just waiting around. It were waiting around for what's happening. And if you leave and they start the race again, you get no race points. And at this time of year, it's quite critical. Why can't you race on a Sunday? I think it's something to do. It's either people who buy houses next to racetracks. Racetrack were there before these people, and then they complain, or it's something to do with church. I know at Anglesey we can't race till dinner time, I think it is, because there's a church, which is absolutely fine. I mean, that's not an issue. So, and it's same as Brands. You can't race there because at locals, you know, around full circuit, there's only certain ones. Village of Little Budworth. There you go. Easy money. 27 grand per day to rent. Yeah. But it is, they've got a track day before it. Why don't they just use that as the test day? Because, I mean, it were dear enough for the 3 in the morning. I'll tell you the worst part about Oulton. And I said this, if you've seen Drive Down, you'll have heard me said it. And it's either rain or be dry. None of this in between. And I think if you've watched qualifying, you'll see at the beginning, I was just like so rushed. Literally, I had like 2 minutes, probably 5 minutes before we were due to go out, and it was like, is it wet? Is it dry? Is it? Just don't know. And obviously, wrong tyres. I went out on wets. People had a wet front in, slick rear. Someone had slicks in. There was so many variables. Everyone were just like same in our group. So whereas the 600s, it were wet for them, which Newcomer 6 went before us. So it were just a bit of a crap, and the weather, like I said, either be dry or be wet. Either way. So talking about, let's go back a little bit. Forget Oulton for now. You can watch the videos, but Andy's doing okay. He's out of hospital. He is injured. But why the long forecast looking? Well, I haven't got a clue. I won't even bother till I'm there. To be honest, I don't care what it does. Just be one or other. Funny enough, this week I've said I've been getting my tyres ready, and I'm selling some R1 spare wheels. I've got a 4C8. I've got some spare wheels, and I put them up for sale, and I had wets on them. I've took the wets off this because I changed my own tyres. I took the wets off this week because I might need them. Don't get me wrong, I've got 3 rears, 2 fronts. Yeah, 3 rears, 2 fronts on wets, and a set of intermediates. So if it rains, I've got enough wets. If it's dry, I've got enough dry, and I'm buying a new rear as well. So I've got plenty of tyres. Let's put it that way. Anyway, watch Oulton. They're coming up. There's one tomorrow, race 1, and then race 2 where the crashes are. That'll be on Sunday. Now, when it comes to racing, they've already released stuff, dates. I found it, and I can't show you because I'm recording on my phone. But if you go into No Limits, click up at top, and it says NLR 2026, and the dates are on there for next year. So it's the dates for actual racing. And if you have a look, round 5. This is like throw a hook out, get and see what you can catch. Round 5, the 11th of July, endurance only. No sprints. There is a race 2 weeks before, and there is a race 2 weeks after. The race 2 weeks after that, so the end of July, that's sprints only, so there's no endurance on that. Rumour is it's a 12-hour endurance. Who's interested? I am. I'll not use my race bike for that. I'll not use the bit. This winter, I'll be taking engine out, and I'll be looking after my engine. I'm going to get the gearbox undercut. There's a company on my Facebook who does that. I'll be sending it off to them. I'm going to look after my bike. I just can't afford to send it off, to be honest. Like you're talking anywhere from 2 to 4 grand, depending on who you send it to. So I'm going to overhaul my bike. I will be using it for sprints, but I won't use it for endurance. I've got a 4C8 R1, so it's an 08 R1. Last at Screamers. It's been my track bike. I've had it 10 years. Owes me nothing. I've got it up for sale. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. But hence I'm selling spare wheels for it as well. But if it doesn't sell, this 12-hour endurance, I'm going to do it on that, not my race bike. Obviously, it's my track bike, but I need to put a shark fin on and put some lock wires on, change water from coolant to just water. Just little things I've got to do to it to make it an actual race bike. So if you are interested, an 08 R1, I think it's got about 17,000 miles on. I've had it over 10 years, about 10 years, let's say, something like that. It did 1 track day last year, and I changed oil straight after. It did 2 track days the year before. So it is what it is. If you are interested, hit me up. How many sets of wheels do I have for my S-Thou? I've got 2. So I've got the set that's on, and when I bought it, I also got a set with it when I bought it as a package. So I bought the Beamer as a package. The lad who was selling it, he was selling the bike on its own, and then you had to pay additional for all other parts. And I waited till it were on eBay, and I waited till it finished, and I offered him more than he wanted for the bike, but that was to account for all parts. And I just says, if you sell it as a package, I'll give you this. You know what I mean? He agreed, and that's how I got all parts. Same as RCK3, same as GS911, all computer stuff. Exhaust, I've got Brembo calipers, original ones that were on it. So I got a good deal. I think I got a good deal. If you're looking at wanting to buy a BMW, go on Facebook. Dan Fletcher, he's selling his Beamer. He stopped racing this year because he's starting his own business and he can't afford to do both. Good on him. He's thinking about his family. But he's got a minter. He's got a really, really good bike. He's got, honestly, go and have a look. And he's just had it on, just before he stopped racing, he's had it on dyno, he's had it unlocked, so he's got the RC, it's been done. Let's say the 4C8, Skidmark. The 4C8 is on Facebook Marketplace. I can't show you on here. I'm literally reading what it says on here because I can't see my phone. But it's in black and red. It's got, funny enough, it's got a bodybuilder motif on it. But it used to be blue. I had it in Yamaha colours. It is black and red. And if you, go on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook, Neil Stevenson's my name. You'll see me. Oh no, I've got a bodybuilding pose on. That's me doing bodybuilding pose. But if you have a look, I've got it on there for sale. Brilliant bike. Last at Screamers. Let's put it this way. This Beamer rides the same now as the R1 did, and I've done 10 years on that. And you can imagine I can throw that R1 around. I know exactly what it's doing, when them wheels are slipping, when they're sliding, everything about that R1. I know what that bike's doing. And BMW's now feeling that way to me now. It's took a while, but it's getting there. A lot more power in Beamer, electronic aids on Beamer as well. But they're getting switched down as well now, so because I could feel it sliding. Whereas at first with power, I literally shit myself. So I did like traction controller on like 5, and power. I had it full power, but yeah, it's one of them. I'm getting faster and faster on it. So the Beamer's getting there. I think on the last one I spoke about, I wish I kept with Yamahas. I actually sold. I had a 16 plate R1. I bought that brand new, only bike I've ever had brand new. I bought that and I had it for 5 years. Did literally 5,000 mile on it, because where I moved to, roads weren't where I'm from. If that makes sense. I wish I'd stayed with Yamahas. I always wanted a Beamer, don't get me wrong. I've had a Beamer. Now I'm like, I wish I'd stayed with Yamaha. I really do. If you want to buy a Yamaha R1, not sure at year, but Lee will be selling his this year because he's retiring, hence the endurance. So back to, I always seem to go off on one. Back to where I were, and it's, yes, round 5, 11th of July, endurance, 12-hour, the rumour. I've just spoke to, actually, I was just speaking to Roger earlier, and it's supposed to be rumoured it's at Anglesey. So we'll see. 9 rounds next year, obviously that's why. I have also heard they've got a new track coming, which is Thruxton. That's nowhere near me. It's down south again. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. That's just another rumour. We'll see. We'll see on that. I'm in for it. I'm in for whatever doing. New track. I suppose it'll be a new track for quite a few people as well, especially us northerners. Oh, it's a bit dark. Let me go and put a light on. 1 second. Oh. So you didn't hear my knees creak. There we go. Back in the room, and it's, there we go. Right. So that's that. Awards. While I'm talking about No Limits, because I am sticking with No Limits. Don't get, they've been, to me, they've been really, really good. Really good. I've enjoyed racing with No Limits this year. Yeah, class is a bit, like the race class is a bit mixed. As in, I don't agree with some stuff. No one ever agrees with everything. But literally, on sheet, there's 17 newcomers. But there haven't been 17 newcomers in every race. I think, or it's 7 at one at races, 7 newcomers in one at race. And it's just because we're in with cup style lads, we're in with old school style lads, and there's no places left because you can only have 40 on the grid, and then there's 40 on the grid. So it is one of them where they just need to look at the groups. That's all they need to. I'm in Cup Town next year anyway, so we'll see what that comes. And yes, every year they do an awards. I didn't go last year. I can't remember why. Probably moaning. But this year the awards are on the 10th of January. I think tickets for it come out in November. It might be, I think, 3rd of November or 10th of November. Something like that. 3rd or 10th of November. tickets come out for the awards evening. I'll be going to that. I've made some really good friends this year at racing, and we just have a laugh doing. It's absolutely mint. So that's what's happening there. If you're going to come down to Donnington, we are doing we're doing sprints. Don't get me wrong, but we are doing endurance. We're called the Factory Boys, and it's because Lenny's all factory. Lenny's got everything brand new. He's got a massive TV showing timing. Oh, he's proper full factory. So Lenny's factory. Lee makes out he's not factory, but Lee, he's got full factory team behind him. He's got a manager, a coach, mechanics. He's got everyone. Lee, it's all his family, but Lee's like making out he's not factory, but he's factory. And then they've just started calling me factory because I bought myself a new tyre. So that's me factory. So I'll take that. And so, and there's Ryan Bull. Ryan is joining us as well in the endurance. He did ask. A couple of people asked actually, but you're only allowed 4 in a team, so that's a bit awkward. And we're in garage 23. Everything's been all paperwork's been released today. You know, like entries and all that sort of stuff. So at the minute we are in garage 23. If you want to come down, come and say hello. You know, we're just a bunch of knobs, really. But we'll chat shit, we'll say hello, and we'll definitely talk. You know what I mean? So come down, say hello. Right, what's gone off this week? This week, MotoGP. What I will say is, for Briss, bit of a letdown. And I do watch all three. So I watch Moto 3, Moto 2, and MotoGP. As you can, I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch British Superbikes. I watch World Superbikes. I've still not seen, and I've still not seen Chloe Jones race from World Superbikes yet. I were just watching earlier. I tend to watch YouTube more than I do TV now, to be honest. Apart from racing, when racing's on, I watch hours. But I was watching a podcast. Not mine. Outside Line podcast, and it's Jack Bernicle and James Whitten. I was watching that earlier. I think this is their 6th one, and they were on about Chloe Jones, and I knew she'd qualify. She got pole. I know she got pole, but I haven't watched the race yet, so I can't see what she's done. They said she did really well, but I didn't want to spoil it, so I've skipped that. So hopefully she's done well, so good on her. You know what I mean? She's in Women's World Championship. Going back to Moto 3, oh my God. I ain't got a clue what happened to Scott Ogden. Eddie O'Shea's in his normal place. I do think Eddie will come through probably next year. And he needs to, because that'll be his chance done. Eddie O'Shea's really future for British Superbikes. World MotoGP. I can't see any Brit who's ready for MotoGP, to be honest. Tell me I'm wrong, but I can't. Watching British Superbikes, watching World Superbikes, there's no one. There's no one at this very minute who's literally going, yeah, I'm the next thing. At all. You've got to think, I thought Jake Dixon. And I think Jake Dixon is absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I really do. He had a crapping and all. So I thought we were going to do so much better, but he didn't. So Moto 3 were crap. Not crap. It weren't what I expected. Moto 2 certainly weren't. I expected Jake being proper, like fighting for the win for that one. To be honest, he were flying at the beginning of the week. It were always up there, and it just didn't happen in race, which happens. But then you've got MotoGP itself. I've said it before, and I never used to like Marc Marquez until he became the underdog. And last year when he came back, I didn't like him at Honda. Don't get me wrong, I still didn't like him at Honda. I'm a Rossi fan through and through. But when he went on Ducati last year at Pramac, was it Pramac? No, not Pramac. God, I forgot her name. Yeah, last year he was underdog, and he got the seat this year, and he did fantastic. And I thought, on old machine, you're doing really well, and I really pushed for him to do really well last year, and he did. And then he got the seat, and how good has he been this year? And people are going, oh, it's boring to watch. He just gets in front and he leaves. He doesn't just get in front. Do you know what I mean? Especially with this tyre crap. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he has to literally sit and wait until tyres come up or he has enough pressure. Grassini, that's it. Cheers for that one. So, Pramac, that's Yamaha now. Which I've literally just watched some on Pramac. And they were on about where Oliveira's going and Jack Miller and obviously Top Rack. Where Top Rack, not where he's going, but obviously he's joining the team. I've just watched some on that one. Which, best part about MotoGP this weekend, Jack Miller going wrong way down track to get a beer. To get an actual beer. So he saw a sign which said something like, swap a beer for your gloves or something like that. And he went back for it. But obviously he's got fined £2,000 for going down racetrack the wrong way for a beer. £2,000 for a beer. How loaded. That was really, really funny, that. Well done, Bezecchi. Really well done. I don't get the thing with wooden leg. But Marc Marquez came through in second race again. So he's got a chance of winning it next. When are they racing? This weekend, next weekend? Not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend they're racing. But he's got a chance. I think it's Japan though, isn't it? I'm sure it's Japan. Sure of it. While we're talking about racing, Oliver's Mount were on at weekend. I didn't go and see it. I was down in London. I went and visited my sons. They both live in London. I don't know why. Idiots. No, we had a really good weekend, actually. £2,000 for a bottle of beer in London. But no, I was down in London, so I was watching a lot on my phone on train, coming back up and going down. So, yeah, what were I saying? It was about, obviously, Oliver's Mount were on this weekend. Bit of road racing, and Nicky Williams. If you know anything about No Limits, you know Nicky Williams, and he's doing road racing. He's going to do it next year as well, and he didn't do as good as his last time. So last time he went, I think he finished. I'm sure he finished 8th last time. He didn't do as good this time, and I've seen some footage. Literally, he loves going on grass anyway, but he literally went on grass around someone, got back on track and still made corner. Nick, what are you doing? But really, really well done, Nicky Williams. Absolutely fantastic. He's got balls to do it. Why not? Dwayne. So Oliver's Mount were on. I don't know final results for it. I haven't watched it on playback yet, from on TV. Just noticed you could see me cut. I ain't cut myself shaving for absolute years. I just cut myself shaving. Right, so that's the racing this week. Other than that, it's not really been much on. That's where I was going earlier. Jamie, tangents, start going on one. So Jamie wants to do like a collab thing and do a live like this, but live with lads at while we're at Donnington Park. I don't know if internet will be good enough, to be honest, but we're definitely trying. I'm up for it, and hopefully, other lads are and can just chat shit for a bit more. But it'll be mainly to do with racing. Good thing about that is Jamie's done a lot of endurance. I'm a newcomer, so I've got a different view to Jamie. He's mentioned other lads as well. He has mentioned Tommy Fielding. If he does it, I mean, he's another league altogether. He's like, I say people sandbag. He's a lad who hasn't sandbagged. Do you know what I mean? He's in Super Series, I think he is. Not Premier, he's in Super Series. And I do watch his vids. And he's up there. He's like first to fourth. Very rare is lower than fourth. So he's a proper fast lad. I do watch his. So it'll be good if we do all get together, just have a little chat and see different perspectives on stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who else is asked on that one. So, but yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good to do from Donnington. I have got a couple of invites from No Limits. In fact, a better contact. So Paula and Pete, No Limits. I think Paula deals with all the marshals. You'll see her on, with flags as well. On grids. Pete drives the car around. I believe that's husband. But literally, Paul has asked if I want to come and do something with marshals. So I must message you. I must remember to message you to sort that out. And I think that they offered me, and it were at Cadwell when I spoke, and they've offered me to go around in safety car as well. But one of them's a driver. I can't remember who they said were like a proper race driver. So then this is what I mean about No Limits. Do you know what I mean? If you don't ask, you don't get. And Mark's going to take me up into the control room. The difference between Anglesey and Donnington, I have seen Donnington control room. I went in it earlier on in the year, but I didn't video anything. But I will be this time. And you'll see difference between that one and any other track. There's so many cameras there. If you know the prices for next year, is there much of a rise? We don't know prices. There's no prices been released yet. Literally, there's just a calendar. It doesn't tell you what. So if you go on to No Limits and Racing, not on track days, if you click on top right, NLR 26, it just gives you dates. It doesn't give you which track. We'll probably start at Snetterton. Do you know what I mean? But then as you go through, I don't know how much. But I'll just do the same as I did this year and pay the deposit and then pay monthly. That's what I've done this year. And a lot of lads do. It's something like 800 or 900 quid deposit that you pay to secure your place. And then I think it's something like 230 quid a month for like 8 months. So that's how I paid for it anyway. I can't afford to wanna, because then there's the test days. That was 779 quid or something like that, 800 quid. You have to pay that in a wanna. Paid for garages, that's another 210. So, no doubt it's going to be dearer than this year. But I'm doing another year. It's one of them. I am putting overtime in. Don't get me wrong, I am putting overtime in. What I will say, go and watch my How Much It Costs series, and you'll see and the rating's not so bad. You can budget it, but it's like if anything goes wrong, it's like I haven't accounted for anything that goes wrong with car. Apart from I had to get a race van, I had to hire a van because my water pump went on the car, or I had a water leak of some sort. But I don't account for tyres or anything, anything that I have to pay for car, because that's just day-to-day wear. But I do foot bike, And like when stuff goes wrong with bike, it's normally expensive. It's like 400 quid for a throttle, 200 quid for a quick shift, you know, like, so it was like, I think that you don't really think about them. And then the tyre situation, it's like, and you won't know this yet, but on the next, I've already recorded how much for Oulton Park. And what happened were, I had a brand new set of brake pads. I normally use DCs when it's dry, dual carbon. So, and they're really, really good, but I don't know what they're like it wet. So I always put RSTs in, SBS 809 RSTs. So they're my wet tyre when it's wet, or the test day or track day, because I'm not wasting a set of DCs on a test day or a track day. You know what I mean? And I put a brand new set of RSTs in, and because it was raining, warped. Brand new set, and they were warped. So I had to use DCs anyway, which then were another brand new set. So I literally went through. I haven't, because I can still use DCs because the races were cut short. Both of them were cut short. I also bought a new tyre, and I only did race one. I only did race one on that tyre, and that were only 6 laps. So I'll get qualifying and race one at Donnington out of that, and then I'll have a brand new one for race 2 and 3. But cost-wise, it was a lot more than I thought, to be honest, and a lot of it is tyres. A lot of that cost is tyres. It's part of it, though. You can't run around on budget. I think, if anything, I might have to go back down to Metzler's, because I came off Metzler's and went up to Pirelli's. But I think purely, if I'm going to be buying new tyres next year, just for racing, the track days and test days, I'll use scrubs. Don't get me wrong. But I probably will have like a new tyre for racing. Not 2, 1 tyre, like 1 rear for all 4, so like qualifying race 1, race 2, race 3. But I might have to go back onto Race Tech, Metzler's, just because they're a bit cheaper, a fair bit cheaper. What do you do for a living? Funny enough, when I first started racing, I was, they call it a teacher. I was a trainer of railway engineering, and I taught to work on railway. You had to come through me. Not just me, there's loads of people doing it, but I was a safety crit trainer to get people on railway. I've been doing that for like 15 years, but I got offered a job, which hopefully is my last job, and I now work for, I live up in North East, and I work for Nexus, the metro system up in North East, and I've got a decent job. I'm literally the assistant manager for track maintenance. So there's two of us. So I'm in charge of welding, grinding, ultrasonics, and that sort of stuff. And it's my job to keep that railway working. So it's like I say, it should be a job for me to retire on, to be honest. What do you think? Oh, what do you do for a living? Done that. Right. Fortunately, so the company I worked for before, I was just like I got normal holidays, the 20 days holiday and bank holidays. And I had to buy holidays. So every month out of my wages, money got taken to pay so that I could have 5 extra days holiday, because there's not enough days in year. Or should I say there's too many days in year for racing. So there's 8 events. I always go down on Thursday. Whether it be, if I'm on a track day, I'm on a track day. If I'm not, it's fine. But then Friday's normally a test day. You're racing Saturday, racing Sunday. You don't have to book. So I always book 2 days. That's 16 days. I've got a girlfriend. I think she wants holidays and stuff. You know what I mean? And obviously we have granddaughter. I want to spend time. You know what I mean? And like, this is my kid, so it's one where back then I had to buy. Fortunately, with these, I get 28 days and bank holidays. And if I work bank holidays, like I worked bank holiday the last bank holiday, because I were on call, so I got called out. So I got a loo day for that. And I put it in for the Monday after Donnington. So instead of coming home Sunday night, we're all going to have a drink and a celebration of, you know, finishing racing, and then stay there Sunday night. But holiday-wise, I'm doing okay now. But still, you use a lot of holidays. It's literally, you got to think, if you can go down on a Thursday night after work, which Lenny and Lee do. I normally save them a place. If you've watched the drive down to Oulton, you'll see I park my car. I'm one of them ones. Park my car somewhere else and put some tyres and some water tubs down, save them a spot. It's not the first time I've done it. I'm a twat. When you book a garage, how much space do you get? So depending on where you are, most of the garages are a decent size. There's a couple which are a bit small and a bit tight. But Endurance get the front at garage. So where the main there's shutters both sides, but where the actual pit lane is, Endurance get that. You don't pay for garages on Endurance. It's part of it. So it's like, I've paid for garages. I've paid for one anyway, but the other lads haven't paid for garages, but they get one because we're in Endurance. Hence, we're in garage number 23. Normally, I'm at the back of the garage. So when you first go into garage from the back, not from the pit side, I'm normally there. And I'm normally there day before, aren't I? So I try to get in corner and just keeping my little bit out of way at Endurance. I'm not being funny. Where were we at? Donnington. We were at Donnington, and I weren't with round racing at Donnington. I was with someone else. But once they'd done their Endurance, they went. I was literally me in garage. So I shouted Lenny and Lee over. And they brought their bikes in. And we all got in pits. So I'm sure it was Donnington. So we were in pits all together. In garage, should I say. So, but it's one of them. For me, 210 quid, it's 30 quid a round. Well worth it. You don't have to worry about electric and power and all that sort of stuff. You literally turn up, put your bike in there and all your shit. And just like, I converted my caravan anyway. No gazebo to put up, so if it's raining, you're not pissing about with a wet one. So you get enough room, let's put it that way. You get some people who think they own the garages. No, there's a list. It's like in ours, there's 4 of us in Endurance, and then there's 2 people's names behind us as well. So there'll be 6. Donnington's not a bad garage, to be honest. You can fit 6 in. If you've ever been on track day in garages, you see how many, but there's like 10 aside. So, you get a fair bit of room. So it's not so bad. If you ever go race it, pay for garages, honestly. But Endurance do get priority over it. Only place you don't get a garage, Cadwell Park, which I've got my race gazebo, which first time I used it this year. I've always had a 24 MX one, and I'll say this, and I've said it before, you look after them 24 MX ones, they'll last forever. It's when you don't time down right or put them away right, they're a bag of shit then. But if you look after them, mine's last, honestly, I've had it as long as me R1, so I've had it about 10 years, this 24 MX one. And I think back then there was 79 quid. I don't think they're that much more than that. I've still got it. I don't use it. Girlfriend uses it. I've got me. God, what was it? God, I forgot what make it is. Rock awning. It's a rock awning. But I bought that off someone. He bought it in COVID, and then I got a right bargain on it, 250 quid. It's massive, it's brilliant. And I've got like double, like 2 sets of sides and all that sort of stuff. So depending on what opening I want, so I can have big opening, which I had at Cadwell, or I can just have a little door on other set. So that's a good one. Right. Was there anything else I needed to chat about? I don't think there is. This weekend, what's on this weekend? Nothing. I have got to sort out the armlets and numbers for racing. But other than that, my bike's all ready to go. I've even got my fuel already because I didn't use as much fuel at Oulton because we didn't race. And yeah, I ain't got much to do. I don't know I don't know if MotoGP's on this weekend. I'm sure there'll be some racing of some sort. What suspension do you have on your? Right. So I haven't got the original on. So the original was the digital one. I didn't change it. It's like it's still got ABS on, but because I've got the GS 911, I've switched it off. So why would I use ABS? Why? I don't want them brakes telling me that I'm putting too much pressure on and let go. I'm quite good on brakes. I need that front tire to tell me what's happening. I don't need ABS to like put me off. So I have ABS switched off, but I haven't got the digital one on anymore. It's a Turbo, whatever it's called. I've got that suspension on. I do need to get bigger springs for the front. Back's absolutely fine. If anything, I might have to just knock the rebound down a little bit. It's just tearing on markers. So, and it's on front and back. So that's probably compression and rebound. But on the front, I bottom out everywhere. And it's because I'm like proper hard on brakes. And I've got a tie wrap round so I can see how far down it goes as well, and it's down fully. I have been running 31.5 psi in front, and people are, oh, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. I'm not being funny. I know what that tyre is doing, and I feel when I bottom out as well because my tyre squishes. And people have been behind me, and they're like, oh, so your back end wiggling, like top rack. Back wheel doesn't come up. But it's squishing that hard, and I'm probably only just touching with rear, and back end's just squirming a little. Front's not giving way. The front tyre then is taking me load, and then I'll get it straight. It's only for like a second or two, but I know what my tyre's doing. And I know and I trust it. You know what I mean? It's one of them where I do trust it, but I do need heavier springs for next year. I'm not buying them for this year. It's not doing. I will get better springs, just front springs, heavier ones for me, more ideal to how I brake. What weight? I don't know because I don't know what's in there. So, but other than that, it's just a case of looking after my bike for next year. Strip it down, change a lot of stuff, and literally just give it a proper refresh. Especially get that gearbox undercut, because when I had my quick shifter problem, I had a few false neutrals, and it's not a nice sound. Right, that, I think we're an hour in, and we are. That, if anyone's got anything else to ask, before I expected Ryan coming on, to be honest. I thought Ryan might come on and mentioned about obviously the endurance, because he first of all ever let it out on first one I did, before we let anyone know. Geron, thanks for all the comments, all the questions. If a place does come up, I will contact you to let you know. If a place comes up for Donny, I will let you know if you're actually interested. I ain't seen any come up yet, and it looks like, I think it's because it's last race at season as well. But if a place comes up, I'll definitely give you a shout, because I do know you won't mind getting on. So I will give you a shout if a place comes up. Right. Thank you, everyone who's watched. If you are watching, or you've watched this after, and you haven't subscribed, drop us a subscribe. Go on. You mind? And then you can join in next time and ask anything you want. Like I said, hopefully we're doing it from Donnington. Race 1 for Oulton comes out tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And race 2, the Crashers, that'll be out on Sunday. Ryan, thanks everyone who's watched, and I will catch you later. Cheers.